Hi, my name's Christy Stanball. I'm from York, PA, and I'm currently studying secondary ed social studies at York College of Pennsylvania. As we roll down. The reason I want to be a history teacher is to make history more fun for my students. I want my students to be engaged in my classes so that way they learn something about history and enjoy the class by the time the semester is over. I think education technology is important in the future since technology is always changing and growing. Teachers need to be constantly adapting to the changing technologies. One of the issues with technology is that not all students have access to the internet at home. It is important that teachers give their students time in class to work on online assignments. Sarah Garland said in her article, "More than 2/3 of U.S. school districts are cutting back on regular maintenance and repairment of computer equipment. Some schools have had to use their individual school-based budgets to pay for their technology." With so many students having access to the internet, cyberbullying has become a problem. Anya Kamenetz wrote an article talking about how some schools are using apps to keep track of their students. GoGuardian is an app that alerts the guidance counselors at schools if students exhibit signs of emotional disturbance. The bill created in 2015 called Students' Digital Privacy and Parental Rights Act was created to allow parents to have access to information about their children and their internet history. This bill also allows companies to sell information about children's internet history to other companies, which is not good. Mass customization is another issue with technology. Matt wrote an article that talked about how not all students learn every subject at the same pace. In his article, he talks about a school in Maine and how not all parents and teachers agree with the idea of mass customization. Some of the parents and teachers even left the school district. Mass customization would be a better way to separate students than just the regular old assembly line approach. Another technology trend is classroom management. Classroom management is a great way to get all the students engaged in class. Apps like ClassCraft and ClassDojo are a way that teachers can reward students with points. With the points that the students earn, they can upgrade their characters on the classroom management apps. These apps can show parents how students earn points through homeworks and engagement in class. One of the downsides of this app is that the points are shown to everyone, which could affect the student's self-esteem if they don't have as many points as someone else. Traditional philosophy that will guide my technology integration as a teacher is cognitivism. I feel that cognitivism is important because every student learns differently and we should cater to those differences in order for each student to reach their max potential at school. Schools need to change from being teacher-centered to being student-centered. There are two ISTE standards that I feel will really guide my instruction as a teacher. The first standard that I think is important is digital citizen. Since technology is always growing and changing, it is important for students to know how to be responsible online. As a teacher, I will be sure to show students how to use the technology that is provided to them in a respectful way. The second standard that I think is important is knowledge constructor. Along with knowing how to use the technology in a responsible way, students also need to know which websites provide the most accurate information for history. Students also need to know how to share the information that they gather to their peers in a school-appropriate way. Some of the synchronous technologies that I could use are Nearpod, Erasma, and Kahoot. I will be using these tools during class time. I will use Nearpod to present new information to my class instead of using PowerPoint. While using Nearpod, I could send them on a digital field trip to a historical place that we're talking about in the unit. I will use Erasma by making stations for my students to circulate through to introduce them to subtopics in a unit while they are taking notes from the videos, or other tag links that I might use. I will use Kahoot either as a preview for a unit or a review for a unit before an exam. I could have them work in teams or individually on the Kahoots. The asynchronous technologies that I could use are GoFormative and Edpuzzle. The students will be using these tools outside of class. I will use GoFormative by creating quizzes for my students and having them answer the questions outside of class for homework. Then I will have GoFormative grade the quizzes and post the grades on their classroom management tool. I will use Edpuzzle by showing them a video and embedding questions that go along with the video. I will have them watch the video and answer the questions outside of class for them to preview an upcoming unit. Technology will shape my career as a teacher because technology is always growing and changing, and schools need to stay up to date with the latest technology. Throughout my schooling thus far, I have seen technology in schools change from chalkboards to whiteboards to finally smartboards. I have also seen most teachers and professors move from physical copies of textbooks to digital copies. I have also noticed that note-taking has changed from paper to technology. This class has showed me some of the tools that I will be able to use as a teacher to integrate technology into my own classroom.